Hey guys, Planet Everything here, and today I'm going to be explaining a project I did with Hot Wheels. So Hot Wheels are a childhood toy that you might have played with quite a bit, wondering which one's the fastest. So I took it upon myself for a school project to figure out the velocity and rate of acceleration for 4 different Hot Wheels cars. And I'm going to walk you through how I did that, and I'm going to show you this little spreadsheet behind me here, because both of them are very essential parts to this experiment, and just knowing how it worked. So I had a track that was, I used meters in this, so it was about like 1.2 meters long, 4-something feet, and by using that track, I was able to put it at a downward slope, use trigonometry to figure out what that downward slope was just by finding the angle, or just by finding the length of the table that it was on to go on a downward slope. And I'll show you some videos right now of what I'm talking about. And then on the actual track, I segmented it, so I put a little bit of tape on each part of the track and split it up into sixths, something like that. And I ended up measuring the amount of time it took for each car to get through each segment, and by finding that out on that downward slope, I could find the rate of acceleration, and I could also find the maximum kinetic energy. So the maximum kinetic energy is going to be achieved at the bottom of that little hill, where you have the maximum kinetic and the minimum potential. So what I did was I ended up finding that rate of acceleration using the distance, a bunch of things that are on this spreadsheet that I can link down in the description, but I probably won't, just because it's kind of difficult. It was kind of a lot of work to do, and I have to now figure out how to get this, and I'll link that spreadsheet down below. But I basically just found the velocity by finding that final segment of Hot Wheels track and the amount of time that it took for that Hot Wheel to go over that. Now I figured that would be about as close to the the fastest velocity that I could get, because that's at the bottom of the slope, and it's also going to be the last segment that it goes through before it starts decelerating when it hits the flat. So I used that number to find the maximum velocity. 0 was the starting velocity, and then I think the time that it took was always in it was always in seconds, but it was usually like 0.8, 0.9 seconds to get through the whole thing, and it was pretty easy as far as it goes with that. But the math did get kind of complicated on me, because I haven't actually taken the physics course on kinematics, I think it's called, because we just haven't gotten there yet in physics, but I kind of wanted to try this kind of a project. So there are a bunch of websites that I used to help me with that, and I also used a formula booklet that I got in my class that we haven't exactly gotten to yet, but I was able to figure it out. I was able to use the formulas for the kinematics, and I guess they call it the motion unit, but essentially, I used a velocity formula, which was 2 times distance, which was always in meters, over seconds squared. So that would give you your velocity. That would give you your velocity, and then to figure out the actual the maximum kinetic energy, you did 1/2 mass times velocity squared, and so by doing that, I was able to do it pretty easily in spreadsheets, or in Google Sheets, and it was pretty simple overall, but it was really cool. I thought, because I was able to find out which one of the Hot Wheels was the fastest. And I'll show you a chart right here of which one was the fastest, and if you'd like to look at it, you can. The horizontal plane is showing each segment, and the fifth segment is the furthest down and what should be the fastest segment on each one. And I averaged the times of 4 different trials of how fast it would go through each one of the segments for each car. So in all, there were 16 trials, 4 with each car, and there were 4 cars. So there was quite a bit of data, because multiply all of that times 6. So, 16 times 6, you get quite a big number. So, yeah. No, that's not even close to what I was doing. Yeah, 16 times 6. 16 times 6, it's a pretty decently big number. 84. 84 different numbers. And then I had to find the difference of each one of those, which was also pretty easy because I just put that into spreadsheets. But yeah, I figured I'd show you that a little bit, just go through my experiment with you. I think a few of the problems that I might have encountered would be not starting the stopwatch to the correct time on the video, maybe the stopwatch being inaccurate at some points. I did see some weird things as far as that goes. Not measuring the time perfectly, because I wasn't shooting at 60 frames per second. So if I had been shooting at 60 frames per second, I would have been way better at getting a more accurate answer for all of my data values. But it is what it is, and I tried my best. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and also please share with your friends, because, sharing is caring.